Singer and activist KILLA and 6 other youth who were arrested and charged alongside 30 men for their alleged involvement in the July 24th mass protest in Serekunda have been granted bail by the High Court in Banjul earlier today. Amadou Kante filed in this report.
Singer and activist KILLA and 6 other youths were arrested and charged alongside 30 men for their alleged involvement in the July 24 mass protest in Serekunda have been granted bail by the High Court in Banjul on Thursday. Justice Mahoney granted each of the 7 men a bail bond of $100,000 and ordered each of them to provide a Gambian surety. The judge granted the accused persons legal team bail application in the absence of both the 7 men and their counsels. No state prosecutor was also present in the court. Earlier, before the judge delivered his ruling, the defense team sent a message asking the court to proceed without them since they have already filed in their bail application. 30 out of these 37 men who were earlier charged alongside the 7 men have been released by the police. Government says it has gathered sufficient and clear evidence against the 7, including KILLA for their involvement in the protest after investigations into the matter. Shortly after Justice Mahoney granted the accused persons bail, Madi Jobate, a human rights activist, welcomed the decision and the releasing of the other 30 youths, saying it was unjustifiable to put them in jail.
I think in the first place it's welcome that we have citizens coming out of jail, which we think is unjustified to put them in jail in the first place. So if the High Court decides now to grant them bail to come out, as you know, the charges have not even been brought to the High Court yet. Like they've not been charged yet in the High Court, even though the magistrate transferred the case or the charges to the High Court. So, but I think it's a good decision the judge made to grant them bail. In terms of the bail conditions, $100,000 for each. I still think that's outlandish.
Aliu Ba, one of the critics of the state for the arrest of the 37 youth, said he is happy they are granted bail because no one should be endorsed in human condition. He said he is still dissatisfied with the dragging of the case.
It's just unfortunate that the government of the Gambia continues to make these, these mistakes and these blunders. And I mean, of course, I'm happy they were granted bail because nobody deserves to be in those inhuman conditions. But I'm not happy the fact that the government of the Gambia is still trying to drag this case that they have no substance to gain from it. Just intimidation of activists and young people in this country. My stance remains the same, that they should be released unconditionally and that the government of the Gambia should come out and apologize to the people of the Gambia for such blunders and knowing forthwith that they cannot intimidate the masses of our people, that they cannot use this type of, they cannot use law and order as a rhetoric to intimidate young people in this country anymore.
The 37 youths were rounded up in July after their first arrest and released by police anti-crime unit for allegedly involving in the July 24 mass protest in Serekunda that ensued from the death of a 36-year-old man, Usman Dabo, who was alleged to have been manhandled by the police anti-crime unit. All the 37 men were earlier on arraigned before a lower court in Kanifing on an 8-count charge including conspiracy to commit felony, unlawful assembly, and prohibition of conduct and conducive to breaches of peace. On September 3rd, the Kanifing lower court ordered for them to be remanded in custody until October, when the case will be transferred to the High Court, whose judges are on vacation. The court could not give any specific date when the case will resume at the High Court. A source close to the case says government decided to rescind its October hearing decision following a mass public outcry for the plight of the accused persons. Reporting for Africa News, I am Amadou Kante.
KILLA and co have been granted bail today at the High Court proceeding.